Hi and welcome back. My name is Elna from elnakane.com, and for today's video we're going to talk about Case Study Writing 101, writing a case study for money. This is a blog post over on my website of elnakane.com of how to write a case study, an easy step-by-step guide. Now if you're new to case writing, you want to know what the heck is a case study? What do you do? So in this post I talk about the definition. So diving into a case study analysis, you'll notice that case studies offer real life examples of how your client was able to take their customer from point A to point B. Now, they're similar to white papers. They're pretty cool and they have hard statistics. Case studies are also research driven and require setting up interviews and developing interview questions. So effectively, businesses want to know how are their products and services doing? What do their customers think about their products? And a case study helps with that, bridge the gap between that question of, is it successful? Is my product actually helping others? Tell me about that process. And here, one thing you should know right away is that writing case studies require a little more research and time-intensive hours than other forms of writing. This is a bigger type of gig. I did write some case study writing for a client, but I did sort of mini case study writing. So dissecting an email of theirs and just talking about how they did great with the conversions for that email, rather than talking about the whole entire business and their strategy and their main product kind of thing. Now, if you're new to this style of writing, it's easy to see how a case study can be confused with white papers. They're both research driven. However, there are two very large differences that make case studies unique. The first is case studies are more interview driven about a successful strategy, like I was mentioning, while white papers are more written like a report about a new feature from a business. And then the second part is the story behind how your client was able to provide their customers with value that brought them results. Even if your client is meticulously tracking their customers before and after results, you have to get the story behind the information to write an informative and highly valuable case study. So one of the biggest advantages of offering case studies as a service is that you can charge a lot more for them. As you can see, it's more intense. You have to do interviews. You have to do storytelling. There's a lot of aspects to a case study. As you know, a typical case study are anywhere between $500 to $1,500 or more. So you can charge that for your case study writing. Let's look at some examples here. So here's a case study from Drift that focuses on how they helped another brand of entry book 1.7 million in new sales. So that's a really nice case study saying that, look at what our product did or our service did for another business. You should probably go with Drift as well if you want that in your business kind of thing. And so I have a link to that case study that they put on their site. Here's a case study on Groupon, who used Sprinkler to increase their customer response time by responding to 76% of their customer messages within 30 minutes. So here's another case study here. So you can see businesses want to promote the success of their customers because it reflects greatly on their product and service. They're always in need of a case study writer to scour those customer success stories and write about it effectively. Now, you might be wondering, well, how do you write this case study? What does it look like? So here's a case study template for you. So let's break that down. I have here the introduction, the challenges, and the solution. So in the introduction of your case study, you should always talk about your client. You can mention their brand, their industry, their services, and any other relevant information. Then you want to share some important details that might highlight what makes them different, their unique selling point. And you can also briefly mention the problem that the customer faced that relates to the solution and that the client was able to provide, but don't go into too much detail. This is what I did in my mock case study sample. Let me see if I can try and read this to you. Mia is a millennial sitting mom with a 6-month-old. She never knew the difficulty it was to lose her postpartum weight gain while breastfeeding. Her daughter relied on less and less breast milk and baby food, which left Mia to add weight to her postpartum body. She knew she had to continue to eat rich and dense foods to keep her milk supply up, but this added to her weight gain. With the addition of using, and this is the product, Synergy protein powder, this is all a mock sample, Mia quickly lost her postpartum weight in a matter of 3 months in a safe way. While her result isn't typical, most customers see a weight loss of around 20 pounds. Mia's story is highly inspirational and helpful if you are struggling to lose weight while breastfeeding, right? So that's sort of my introduction to the problem and the product, the challenges that she faced, and then the solution. It goes deeper into that. So their challenges here. So in this section, talk about the key problem, the challenges, or any pain points that the customer was facing that the prospective client wanted you to address. So you learn this through the interview process, and then go much more in depth about the customer's problem in this section. So how did the problem develop? Was it pre-existing? Was a problem due to changes in their market or other unforeseen circumstances? So you want to talk about their initial goals where they were working for the client and how they expected to have their problem solved. And this will lead to part 4 of the case study. And then lastly, did the customer choose to work with my client specifically? All right, part 3 is the solution. So the solution of the case study is where you can propose the solution and mention all the great things that your client did to help their customers achieve amazing results. Now, include specific strategies that worked or did not. Did the client offer a tried and true method to solve the issue, or did they do something new? What parts of the client's team were involved and how did they contribute? What was the end solution? What did it look like? And so there's these questions you can answer, and you only want to focus on the things that the potential customers will care about, and don't worry about including things that they won't care about. I always make sure to tailor my writing to appeal to the particular avatar that the client is marketing to. So those are the results. So if we look at up here, the challenges here, Mia is a busy mom. She not only goes to school, but she also has side gigs to help contribute to the household expenses. Mia tried and failed numerous times to get a lower calorie diet, but noticed as soon as she cut her calories, her breast milk depleted. She couldn't afford to lose any more milk. She had to find a way to lose her baby weight while maintaining adequate milk supply for her growing son. And then Synergy Protein Lactation Powder. When Mia contacted us, we suggested that she use our latest product, the Synergy Protein Lactation Powder, to help you safely lose weight and increase milk production. And then I go through the features of that product. There's the solution, more of the features here, and then the results. So this is where you can include stats about the progress with supporting evidence, discuss how the client solved their customers' issues or accomplished the objectives they set out to achieve. And this ties back to section number 2 about their challenges. So here I just did a little mock graph there. I discussed how my client solved their customers' issues or accomplished the objectives they set out to achieve. So Mia readily enjoyed drinking the Synergy Protein Lactation Powder. She would have one for breakfast and one for a late dinner snack. She also watched what she ate and made sure to incorporate better eating choices such as nuts and seeds instead of chips and pretzels. Mia also incorporated swimming with her child for 2 weeks. In 3 months, Mia was able to lose 36 pounds. And then here's sort of a graph for that. Pay attention to your client's ideal customer because your case study will reflect their ideal customer. I mean, they don't want to highlight someone that used their product and didn't benefit from it, or it was just marginal results. They do highlight the best of the best. So it is your ideal customer that you are interviewing. As far as the format, you can definitely use, depending on your client and what they want of you, they might already have a designer to design their case studies. It might just be a blog post, but you can, as a mock sample on your portfolio page, have something like Bengage or even Canva has templates for case study, and then you can present your case study that way. As far as researching, getting to know the product in depth, maybe using it yourself, talking to the owners about it, and then the person who, used that product or service. It's a good idea to have some questions, specific questions for the interview so that you're not losing steam while they're talking about their product and their story. You want to have specific questions that you can then write about in your case study. Just some other formalities, typical case studies are about 1,500 words. Depending on how long it takes is really up to your style and how you write and gather information, but it could take a few weeks to a month depending on, getting that information in the first place. And just to make sure to include the problem and how the company being profiled helped solve that problem. That's the whole point of a case study. And in the beginning, to quote your price, between 300 to 500 is a good starting rate. So go from there. And if you want to start marketing this to gain some more case study clients, make sure that you build that case study portfolio. So using those mock samples to create a nice visually dense case study. You can niche yourself as a case study writer. So then make sure your copy reflects that. Here's an example of a case study writer that niched that service out here. She has a testimonial. She has writing samples specific to case studies. She even has a checklist, and she has tips on writing a case study all on her writer website. You can guest post about that topic. Why not guest post how to use case studies to increase sales? You can write that for a guest blog, and then that's another sample. It just shows your education and knowledge about case study writing. So hopefully that helped you. If you want more information, actually, if you go to elnakane.com/shop, I do repurpose a lot of my bigger guides into ebooks. So I do have a how to write case study that is in a nice format here, but I've also included some cool templates. So I have in the back of this, I have 30 interview questions you can ask. So I have the questions to ask. I also have a case study checklist to make sure that you're following the process of writing a case study, and then a visual template that you can use this visual guide to write your case study. All of these have the blog post and then extra templates, extra sheets that you can use. So if you want to pick that up, go ahead. It's right here under elnakane.com/shop. Let me know in the comments below. Are you a case study writer? Is this something that you're interested in doing? And make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for more freelance writing advice. I'll see you in the next video.